Welcome to UNCAGED, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with Emanuela Bianco. Emanuela, it's great to have you on the show.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Absolutely. So Emanuela is the co-founder and named partner of Saglietti Bianco, which is a highly specialized Italian law firm in intellectual property law. And so we will get into the world of intellectual property law in Italy and Europe and the world, and Emanuela will set us straight on all of those topics. But before we get there, Emanuela, tell us a little bit about yourself and your career to date.
I'm going to talk about it. So, as you see, I'm Italian, and since I was a child, I was very keen to learn foreign languages. I wanted to learn different cultures, even if my parents were 100% Italian. They came from the mountains around here, so it was kind of strange to me. And but still, so at the beginning, I wanted to become an ambassador, a diplomat, because of all this need that I have to learn different cultures and different languages. And then I had the opportunity to study also at the university in Berlin, at the Humboldt Universität. I studied law there, and then I ended up going to Oxford, a new college. And for my dissertation, I came to Cambridge at the Harvard Law School in the US. So I was very fortunate to get this bright and international atmosphere. That's what I needed, actually. It was vital for me. And so this helped me a lot in trying to find which was my way, because we're going to talk about intellectual property, and this is a very international field where you can see that there are a lot of similarities in all different countries. So a part of my family comes from France. I speak a lot of different languages, and I really like to dive into the case law with the original documents, the original decisions, and I like to talk to my clients to understand with our team which are their needs. So that's
great. And I think that's all led to really Saglietti Bianco and what your firm does. So tell me a little bit more about what you are focused on.
Yes, so as a firm, we are one-stop shop for intellectual property. It means that we create trademarks, and we also do filing and prosecutions of IP rights, trademark, patents, copyrights in Italy, and we protect them all over the world. But also we are lawyers. I'm, for example, admitted in Italy and in the UK, and as Italian, I can also practice all over the European Union, and that's something that I do almost on a daily basis. So we're also a lawyer who helps clients drafting contracts, defend or attack their rights in court or in arbitrations, and also in international arbitrations.
And I mean, it's an interesting moment for intellectual property. I mean, I would say that, I lived in China for many years, and I saw perhaps some of the challenges with intellectual property from just a classic name brand perspective over there. But tell us a little bit about what's happening now and over the last couple of years in the IP space.
So the IP is changing very fast because we deal with innovation, and innovation is changing so quickly during the last 2 decades with the help of artificial intelligence, AI, and also with all these counterfeiting products and services that you see all over the world, not only in China, but really everywhere, and the development of internet, and now with the Metaverse, where there are virtual counterfeiting or virtual products that you have to protect or defend or attack. So it's really it's kind of a field where you see what's going to happen in the next, I would say, 10, 20 years, because also when you assist clients who want to protect their innovations, you get to know them, you get to know what you're going to patent, of course, with our patent attorneys. So your mind starts to think and to see really how the world is developing and what's going to happen. Also, for example, everything that concerns the environment, what we call the green trademarks, and the aspects of sustainability, of course, are very trendy in our world right now. So it's a challenging field, but I'm very passionate about it. Maybe because
I love it. I think you're absolutely right. There's a lot of challenges right now, and there's a lot of new technologies. I would love to dig a little bit deeper. I mean, tell me more about the digital rights and things like the metaverse. How should we be thinking about that?
So actually, yes. As you know, there are now virtual worlds, virtual reality. They started with social networks, where, of course, enterprises started protecting and acting very, very deeply, and now everything is kind of shifting into this new virtual world, which is going to be a parallel world. We, of course, are going always live in the real one, but in the meantime, we really need to understand that there's going to be big differences in the next 2 decades. And of course, we're going to adapt to them. But what I would tell to my clients, the enterprise that we have entrusted us, is that we really need to keep an eye and possibly act before the competitors, to try to find the right space, the right way to protect their immaterial assets, so their trademarks and patent portfolios, which, as you know, they are monopolies in a world which is based on competition. So they are legitimate monopolies, the only one, actually.
Yeah, no, it's really, really interesting. And it's happening and changing so quickly. Tell me a little bit more actually about the last couple of years. I mean, it's been this kind of big turning point in our world. How has that impacted what you're working on?
It made a very big difference, because it helped. If we want to see the good side of everything we went through, it helped us, our offices in Italy and abroad, to be really paperless from one day to the other, to start to connect using different means, as we're doing right now, for example, and also the concept of the client and the way we communicate with the client has changed a lot. The way, for example, we made different international arbitrations based in London, never been there. So you started working with people, and sometimes also with colleagues, never getting to know them face to face, but still I had the impression I know them. And at the end you did, because you spent so many times together in a different way. So it helped us to adapt to something new and different and disruptive. And of course, from the side, for example, of the Italian justice, it helped the development of all these virtual hearings that are now taking place, that would be impossible to think before the pandemic. It would be impossible. Different is, for example, in international arbitration, when you have a private judge, which allows you to use different means, but in every, I would say, continental European countries, I think in Germany or in France, where I practice also, and in Italy, it wouldn't be possible without this. So
no, you're absolutely right.
I learned a lot.
It's been an interesting moment. I do kind of remark that quality of kind of building those personal, deep connections, because you're spending so much time, but you haven't even met people, is a fascinating quality. And Emanuela, I mean, we're living again in a moment where lots of change is happening in our world. But how do you imagine in 2022 the world of IP is going to look? Is it what are going to be the hot topics this year?
So, as you said, finished one thing, and we had the impression to start the normality, and then something even worse happened. And of course, I'm very sorry and deeply concerned, because if we talk about the war that we see at the borders of the European Union and everything that's happening out there, I have a lot of. So the world of intellectual property is based on a trustfully network of IP lawyers or patent attorneys. We always have met in international conferences held everywhere in the world. And for example, in May, there's going to be one in Venice, which wanted to be the first in-person meeting after this period, because you see that a virtual meeting is not the same as an in-person one. But what I see is that what I wanted to say is that we have a lot of, for example, Ukrainian and Russian colleagues, which now are challenging so many problems, and we're, as an IP community, we are so sorry, because we know them, we know in person their professionalism and so on. So the new challenges, I think, in our world is going to be normal again, in a way that you can trust your colleague in the same way you did before, without all these political problems to make a difference in the world and in the way we behave with them. And also two main points are going to be, of course, artificial intelligence and environmental law, and the way that's going to change.
I think that you're hitting on kind of the key issue there, which is, those new topics, machine learning, AI, sustainability, are all going to be key topics for sure. But if we don't have the trust, if we don't have the trust, and intellectual property really demands a level of trust and policing, really, that if we don't have that, it kind of really struggles. That it will be a fascinating moment to see how it all develops. And I'm sure, Emanuela, you'll be in the thick of it and sorting all of this stuff out for all of us. Emanuela, thank you so much for joining us today on UNCAGED. We've been speaking with Emanuela Bianco. She is the co-founder and named partner of Saglietti Bianco, which is a specialist law firm focused on intellectual property law. Emanuela, if someone wanted to reach you, where should they find you?
So they can find me, for example, on LinkedIn, if they want to. Then there is our website, where they can find all my contacts, or I can give also my email, which is emanuela.bianco@sagliettibianco.com. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been great speaking to you, Emanuela. We look forward to talking to you again.
With great pleasure. Thank you. Cheers.
Ciao.
Bye.